Hello, I'm going to be reading out of the King James Version of the Bible. I'm going to be reading St. Luke, the 15th chapter, beginning at the 17th verse. And it reads as follows. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father's, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. I just read St. Luke, the 15th chapter, verses 17 and 18. And this is talking about the prodigal son. This is the youngest son who asked for his inheritance. And he went away and he spent it all up and he did everything he was big enough and old enough to do. And then when he had lost all his money, he realized that he was in need and he wanted to go back home. But he wasn't proud and boastful. He humbled himself and he began to have a conversation with himself. He began to say, you know what? My daddy got it going on. He's got all kind of servants and none of his servants are hungry. He said, I'm going to go back home and tell my daddy that I want to be home and I don't even want to come as a son. I want to be your servant. And he was having all this conversation with himself because he remembered where he came from. He remembered how good his father was to him. Sometimes we need to have a conversation with ourselves. It says, and when he came to himself, we need to come to ourselves. We need to put down our pride and go back to God and get it right. Yes, you might have messed up. Yes, I've messed up plenty of times. Plenty of times I did things that weren't right. And I had to come to myself. And I had to say, Lord, forgive me. Lord, I'm sorry. It wasn't you. It was me. I did things because I wanted to do them, not because you were bad or you were mean or you was or a terrible God. It was all on me. We need to come to ourselves, and some conversations we need to have. Yes. Some of us are like that younger son that have gone away from what God told us to do. We have gone and did our own thing. We need to come back home. I want to encourage you to come back home. God is waiting for you to come back home. And after he had a conversation with himself, he said, I will arise and go to my father's and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. After he recognized that he had sinned, he began to apologize. He did more than just apologize. He had changed behavior. If you're really sorry about something, you don't keep doing that same thing over and 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 over again. I want to encourage you to come to yourself and come back to God. He's standing there waiting for you. Go home. That's my word to you today. Is go home. Go back where you started from. Ask God to forgive you. Come to yourself. You don't have to be the way are. You don't have to stay in the same condition that you are. God will clean you up once again. God doesn't hate you. He loves you. He might have hated the sin that you did, but he loves you. Come home. Jesus is waiting for you. Come home. I remember years ago, we was in Connecticut, and the mass choir sung this song, Coming Home, Lord, I'm coming home. I stayed away much too long. Coming home, Lord, I'm coming home. I stayed away much too long. You stayed away much too long. Come home. God bless you.